Were there anti-vax liberals? I noticed there's a lot of people who are anti-vax that are conservatives. But was wondering if there was the inverse too of people who are liberal and anti-vax. Not trying to start a debate. Just wondering if that's a thing. Go ahead and delete if this violates the rules. Hippies are the anti-vax crowd. I actually always associated anti-vax with the hippie anti-government liberals. But somehow I think they've swung around and become conservative? Or conservatives jumped on the bandwagon? Or it's all a giant circle? IDK. Yep. Hippies were the original anti-vaxxers. I was raised on a commune by parents who didn't vaccinate me. I'm 38 and fully vaccinated now. Yes. There are anti-vaxxers on the left. I know some flaky hippie types who boo GBT right into it. Also the whole chemtrail conspiracy thing. Yep. In my country the people who send their kids to the Waldorf schools are known for being both hippie and very anti-vax. They are very new age type of people. Bill Maher. He's at least a self-proclaimed liberal, and a huge anti-vaxxer. My wife is one. Technically Robert Kennedy Jr. Sort of. There are some seriously old-school liberals that distrust anything mandatory. The ones RFK Jr. is aiming for. Given his name resonates with precisely that demographic. They just basically bit the bullet and conveniently forgot to get vaccinated rather than make it into a thing. One of my family members is an anti-vaxxer and she is about as liberal as it gets. She even has a degree in gender studies. That said, in the current climate, I think most of the anti-vax rhetoric comes from the right. That's weird. Most of my anti-vax friends were my body my choice, Democrats. Yes. Before the pandemic, most were. They basically helped kill a perfectly good anti-Lyme disease virus. And helped bring back whooping cough and measles. RFK Jr. is one of them. Liberals started the entire anti-vax horseshit. How the conservative establishment hijacked that was stunning. It started with them. The anti-vaxxers were the hippies into healing crystals, no GMOs, the more intense vegans etc. My cousin got married in the summer of 2021. Him and his wife had 2 daughters before getting married. They have refused to vax both of them because they are left-wing holistic medicine folk. They had a 3rd kid in early 2022 and from what I've heard they won't be vaccinating any kids anytime soon. Oh yeah, there are a lot of hippie anti-vaxxers. Everything from conspiracy theories to it's not natural man. Honestly, stupidity ain't exclusive to any political group. RFK Jr. Yes. Some Hollywood types. Yes, my mom used to be one. I always called it crunchy granola cause that's what my mom and her friends called themselves. I feed my kids homemade granola instead of sugary artificial cereal and instead of vaccinations. I give them herbal supplements and organic veggies. Very much yes. Tons support bodily autonomy and private medical decisions. Yes. We choose to not get vaccinated and just go about our days quietly. I think one of Samantha Bee's final stories for The Daily Show was about anti-vax liberals. Marin County is filled with anti-vax leftists. It's actually a big thing. And as a consequence I worked with someone whose parents never vaccinated her and she got whooping cough. Oh plenty. But the key difference is they didn't advertise and would lie about it. So really even worse. Lots of anti-vax hippies out there. Yep. My sister is a pretty hardcore leftist. But she also is extremely distrusting of the government, a tad mentally ill. So she buys into a lot of crazy conspiracies. It's the one thing she not progressive about. Honestly, everything has switched emo. Not as many, but stupid can grow anywhere. Yes, the hippie ones. There were plenty of anti-vax liberal groups. But they'd usually say it in coffee shops, not act on it in government office. Oh gosh. Many. My mom is one. She's a liberal who buys into a ton of health and other related conspiracy theories. Misinformation. Has been anti-vax since around 2003? Or so. Oh def. Lots of woo-woo aluminum foil hat wearing. Anti-vax is the equal opportunity stupidificator. It appealed to gullibles, narcissists, and wackadoos from all corners of the map. There have been anti-vax liberals since forever. Partly the I don't trust unnatural things hippie idiocy. Partly the resentment of the man telling people what to do. And partly the appeal to the conspiracy junkie. Not a lot. The values of liberal policies in the 2020s is more or less based on empathy. So you'll see less and less people who hate autistic people, which is the core of the anti-vax movement. It actually makes sense that the science positive and political spectrums would have a weird overlap. I grew up in a science household where my father published on mRNA in 1971. Yes. Many yoga types. Yes. Most liberals were anti-vax when it was first being talked about during Trump's time in office. Once Biden took over and began saying the same things, the liberals turned pro-vax. My aunt and uncle went from crunchy atheist vegans who bawled when Trump was elected to his biggest supporters who left the vegan community and are finding religion. Apparently he was the only person who stood up to Big Pharma and spoke the truth. I saw a few videos about how it's not uncommon for crunchy vegans to take this path. I think the important factor is they are privileged white people. In the UK, most of the anti-vax people that I know are quite far left-wing. It always felt strange seeing that it's mostly right-wingers saying the same stuff in America. Tons of them exist. Less the government is trying to get me more. I am all natural. If they existed years ago, smallpox would still be killing people. Yes. I know quite a few of them. There are anti-vax all over the political spectrum. Political ideology doesn't really have much to do with trust in vaccination tbh. If the vax came out while Trump was in office, then pretty much everyone of them. Yes. JFK Jr. is one of them. Typically for the left it arises from New Age health and naturalist movements with some anti-corporate talk thrown in. Left and right anti-vaxxer are hard to tell apart sometimes, but often a leftist will say vaxes cause things like autism and other neurological conditions, while right-wingers typically talk about government control and tracking chips. Many in the hippie left were anti-vax. Yes, most vax-skeptical people I know are liberal. Yes, plenty. A few were liberal nurses I worked with. They call them granola moms' dads. Of course. I work with a predominantly black population. Most lean towards liberal beliefs. And a disproportionate amount of them have government trust issues. Our company mandates vaccinations. If you choose to not be vaccinated, you have to fill out an exemption form and are required to wear a mask. Many employees have choose the mask route. Tons. They typically fell into the New Age crystal healing camp, lots of hippie types that sat under pyramids or thought all they needed was a coffee colonic. I don't know about the rest of the world, but I had a friend who was a liberal. We couldn't discuss politics, but she was on the same page as everybody else with the no jab. They're still there. They've been overshadowed by conservatives. I'm not even going to begin to go into why that's a thing.